My name's Antonio Quistian, and I'm 32 years old. I was injured in a motorcycle accident August 31st of 2008. Before my accident, I lived in San Diego, California. I was founder of a motorcycle club. I had a clothing store and a tattoo shop. Basically, every day I just woke up, loved life. I got to open my own business. If I wanted to go on a long lunch, I can go down to the beach, hang out. I really had nothing to worry about. Um, I was always active. I'd ride my motorcycle at least, at least every day for sure. I'd ride a couple hours a day. Something I love to do. So on this day, I was riding to the beach with a bunch of friends, about to hang out and go do a little pool party. And on the way there, I was involved in a motorcycle accident. Um, I wrecked my bike. My bike landed on my chest, and it wasn't for 2 weeks. I woke up later and found out I was paralyzed from my chest down, and I was told I would never walk again. So my life changed drastically. I mean, I went from being at what I thought was the peak of my life. You know, I went from riding my motorcycle every day, owning my own clothing store, basically just living for myself to, man, to hearing I would never walk again. And, you know, I lost a lot of friends. And when something like that happens, you think it would draw a lot of people closer. And it did. It drew my family a lot closer. But, you know, I've seen that I had a lot of people in my life that weren't really there for me or for my best interest. It was more for the things I had or the type of lifestyle I lived. And you know, it set me back for a while. And it really, really hurt me. But I became a better person because of it. And you know, I had to take my time to learn how much better my life is now than it was in my past. I don't think you could live life and not go through some type of depression. I mean, depression's normal, but for somebody in a wheelchair, yeah, I dealt with depression. Um, you know, to find yourself not being able to walk, not being able to maybe control the use of the restroom or anything like that, it's going to cause major depression for somebody. Um, and I went through that. You know, I was depressed for a long time. So I remember the day that I snapped out of my depression. Um, I just came home from the hospital, and my little brother, he was about 10 at the time, and you know, he had missed me so much since I was in San Diego, and he was like, "Can I come spend the night with you? Can I come spend the night with you?" And at this time, my injury was so bad, like I was still urinating on myself, and I was really having a difficult time. But my brother loved me so much, he wanted to spend the night. So I told him, yeah, it was cool. So I remember we were sleeping in the bed, and it was about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up, and I had, you know, went to the restroom on myself. And typically I would have called my father from the other room to come help me. But since my little brother was sleeping next to me, I didn't want to yell for my dad to come help. So I sat there laying in you know, urinated on myself. And I remember how small I felt at that time. I felt like, you know, how can I live my life like this? And it just brought me to tears. And I guess my crying, my brother woke up, and, you know, being a young little kid, he asked, you know, what's wrong? What's going on? And so I answered, and I told him, you know, I used the restroom on myself. And it was so weird because he just acted like it was nothing. And he got up and, oh, don't worry, brother, I'll help you, and he got me a rag to clean up, and he got me a change of clothes, and he got me fixed up, and then he went back to sleep. And he's like, I love you, and he fell asleep. And I remember sitting there looking at what had happened and thinking to myself, if this little man can deal with this and it's not a big deal, then me being at my age saying, I can overcome this. And it was at that moment that I told myself, I'm not going to let this beat me. That I'm not going to let this disability keep me sad and keep me knocked down, that I was going to continue living. And since that day, I've made it a point to stop looking at the negative, only focus on the positive, and just to keep moving forward, keep rolling. And that's what I've been doing. And so what I do now is I sell a product called Ability Jeans. It's basically the only fashionable jean in the world that's catered for wheelchair users, that looks stylish as every other jean that's on the market for those that are walking. They have accessibility for people that use a chair, access for the bathroom, lowered pockets, a lot of benefits to them that basically make it much more comfortable for someone in their daily use that's a wheelchair user. Outside of that, I still do peer support to try to encourage others to live, happy and live a full life and not stop. And that's basically what my day-to-day life is right now. So a challenge I'm having right now is with my business in general, acquiring the right funding, marketing my product. It's not really a challenge with being in a wheelchair. It's more a challenge of living life in general. Being a small business owner and starting things is a challenge. But I also have my mental and emotional challenges, my good versus evil. The life of I'm trying to live, counting to the life I used to live. It's a battle. I have been trying to be spiritually strong and change my life for the good, but yet my old ways still call me back, and I find myself battling that. I also have the challenge of just my mobility gets in the way at times, but it's something that we fight through. I still do everything. I mean, I live a normal life. I go swimming, I hang out with friends, I drive, and people seem to be amazed that, oh, you're in a wheelchair, you drive? Yeah, I drive. I ride motorcycles. I'm still active as ever. I work out. And then sometimes I just stay home, kick my feet up. Well, put my feet up. Yeah. Play video games, and when I have free time. Running a business, I don't get a lot of that, but that's my daily life. It doesn't change. I'm just in a wheelchair. It's like, get over it.